Hi, it's Archie from Brown Bear Herbs. Today I wanted to share with you my new product called Trauma Recovery Supports. It's a flower essence and gem essence, and it is for helping you recover from sexual trauma. So not car accidents and stuff like that, or other. There's so many types of traumas, but this one's specific to sexual trauma. And it could also help if you have some inherited issues, like if you have, hold on, Cutie's here for the talk. It's like, hey guys, I just want to be supportive. Anyway, so some people have some inherited issues, like if you have a parent who's had a lot of sexual trauma and they're kind of, just by being around them a lot and their way of living, you've kind of incorporated some of that stuff into you, that it could also help with that. So first off, I just want to explain how I recommend for people to take flower essences or gem essences. The way that I find it works best is to take a large water bottle, and then you're going to take like 5 drops and put it in. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If it's accidentally a little bit more or it's a little less, it's not going to be a big deal. And then succussing is when you tap the bottom. I do that until I feel a bit of a release. That's optional. You don't have to worry about that if you're don't feel like you're tuned in that way. But if you are, then you can tap it until you feel a little bit of an energetic release. And I feel like that kind of distributes the energy throughout and like settles it into the water. And then sip throughout the day. That's how it's done. And so if you want to chug some water, or have a glass of water, have it with another type of another container. And if you are too lazy or too busy to do it that way, here's another way to do it. On top of the tongue. Very easy. So it'll work fine that way. I just think if you can get into that habit of sipping throughout the day, it does like deliver that energy to you of the flowers and the gemstones in like gradual way throughout the day. And it's just also like a form of intention setting where you're setting that intention throughout the day, not just like when you kind of like remember to do it all of a sudden, and you're like, oh crap, I haven't done taking that for 3 days or something like that. So it's a good habit to get into. And you don't have to do it for any length of time. This remedy, it's new. I just made it. I've experimented with it a lot, and I had some people test it out, and I will just tell you what I'm experiencing, what other people are experiencing, and then I'll talk a little bit about the individual ingredients in it or remedies in it. I have been feeling some stuff come up. I don't feel like, I personally feel like I guess in some ways it's made me feel like I have more stuff that's unresolved than I did before, but it's coming up in a way that's like manageable and kind of reality orienting, like it has pink monkey flower in it. Most of the ingredients are centered around like just your personal growth and also connecting with other people. But the pink monkey flower helps if you're shy about talking about certain things. And I've been feeling lately like, you know what? I'm shy about talking about certain things, and it would help me and my relationships if I talked about these things. And that's a big problem with sexual trauma, is I almost feel like it's as big of a problem as the trauma itself. It's just like being able to talk about it later. Obviously, therapists are great, but there are many times in life when if you're triggered or you have a close partner that you want to be open with, you need to feel like you're safe to talk to them. And not everybody is safe to talk to. So that's why I feel like it can be as much of a problem. It's not just about you not opening up. It's also about the many reactions you may have had in your life that have not been positive and made you feel like to blame or something like that. I do feel like it's helping with my sleep, and Another person that I had tested out for me, who's continuing to take it, she said that she was having night terrors, like, sound like for a really long time. And since she's been taking it and she's been doing the sipping throughout the day, she's not been having them. So that was like, I was really excited and really excited to share with other people to hope that that would help other people too. No promises, but that's a magic that can work for you. And it's also just kind of a nurturing thing to do, to like intake the flowers and gemstone medicine. So a couple people with improved sleep, and then people saying that it is making some things come up, but in a manageable way. So just be forewarned that some stuff might come up. For me, it's been nothing like specific. It's not been like I'm remembering like a specific event or something like that. It's more just like some feelings have come up, and some like attitude. I've become more aware of some attitudes I have to myself that are getting in the way of healing further. And then let me tell you about some of the things in here. So a rhodochrosite is a gemstone. It's a beautiful pink gemstone, and I used it, and I found that it was just like amazing in how it opened up, helped with the trauma and opening up my voice and the energy in my throat. I had Hashimoto's, which is an autoimmune response against your thyroid, or where you're attacking your own thyroid, and it was instrumental in helping me clear that. I'd had it for like 20 years, and it really helped. So that's really nice. Some in here for helping kind of speed up emotional processing time. So some trauma can take a really long time to process emotionally, and some supportive flowers and gemstones to help it be a quicker process. So it's still a process you go through, but it's smoothed along, made easier. Crab apple is good for feelings of impurity, just like getting rid of that feeling, especially like that's specific to crab apple, but also just like the apple, the whole idea of like the Garden of Eden and how like it's just like a bad story. Who came up with that idea? Anyways, I don't think a lot about the Garden of Eden, but I'm glad I wasn't raised with that myth in my religion, because I think it's just not helpful for women to feel like they're to blame for like the ruin of the Garden of Eden. No thanks. So scrap that. And then Alstroemeria, also good for kind of integrating spiritual and mundane, and having spirituality and a body, and adjusting to like the things that go on through your body. And then some other supporters for recognizing the sacredness that is possible in sexuality, in sexual union. So if you not only have you been hurt and traumatized in that present moment by acts of sexual abuse and assault, you have had like kind of that cast into the future to all possible interactions. In a way, it's like tainting things. So kind of like some support for helping you remember that that is a possibility with that, with the right communication, the right partner, and the right nurturing of yourself, and the right holding on to that as an ideal, because there are a lot of people who are just more casual about sex, and sometimes that's fine for people, and sometimes it's difficult. So that is my new remedy that I have on the website, brembreherbs.com, for helping support you if you're recovering from trauma, which is a very, very common thing. Most women I've talked to, like over 90%, have experienced sexual trauma. Now, I know that may not be representative of the general population, but just know that if you're experiencing that, you're not at all alone. And it can be hard to find people to talk to about that, just because even if someone's experienced that, it may be hard for them to talk about because it reminds them of their own experiences. A couple other remedies that I have, or supporters for if you have ongoing issues from sexual trauma. My Sexy Smokes is designed to help you feel more grounded if you're wanting to engage in sex with yourself or with other people. Feel more grounded, get out of your head, heal some trauma in the first and second chakras, which are like first chakra is survival issues, second chakra has a lot to do with wants and desires and sexuality. And that one's like really nice to experiment with. And also it has resonant to make sure your heart is in the game there. And then there's a really wonderful yoga practice that you can do called the kirtan kriya. I have a link to a video showing how to do that. It's very simple. If you can lay on the floor on your stomach for 3 minutes, you can probably do the kirtan kriya. And I recommend doing it for 40 days. I was having consecutively, so if you skip a day, you start over again. But it's really effective. Like it's touted as being like the best yoga practice for women, meditation for women to do before you do anything else. So I do it. I've been doing it all year, 2020, before I do any of my other practices. It's 3 minutes. I lay on the floor, so it's like hard to say no to that. But I found that it got rid of my the PTSD that I had that was interfering with my daily life. Like at the time that I discovered it, probably like almost 20 years ago, I was having like some anxiety and panic attacks and some flashbacks, more problems with bad dreams and stuff like that. And I did it for 40 days, just kind of intuitively. I decided that I would go for that. That was what the book recommended. They didn't mention anything about PTSD or anything like that. But that's what I did, and it was just done. It was over, the trauma. And then when things came up later, since then, events happened that were unfortunate, I did it again, and it was monumental in helping me get through that painful stuff, without going bonkers, basically, because life is hard sometimes. So those are 3 tools for you. And then I've opened up a tier in my Patreon where I'm specifically talking about more women's health stuff, like everything from basic stuff like yeast and herbs for women to, I'll go into more trauma stuff as I can deliver it to you. So if you're interested in that, I think it's like $4.50 a month, so it's pretty cheap. That's videos, and you can also write to me there. It's private, it's for women. That can be like something you identify with at this point in your life, or you're assigned female at birth. Either way, so it's just a little bit more of a private space. So if you want to join that, you can, and you can communicate with me through that, or you can always email me at rt@brownbearherbs.com. So if you do either any of these things, if you do the trauma recovery support flower and gem essence, or take the Sexy Smokes and it helps you with your trauma stuff, or you have another experience you want to share, or if you do the kirtan kriya, I am giving people a present after they finish the 40 days of the kirtan kriya. So I'm just putting that out there. But please, I love to hear your experiences, and it makes it so much easier to tell people how things can be helpful for them if they know other people have benefited. So communicate with me. I love it. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, or follow me on Instagram and sign up for post and story notifications. And I hope you have a good day.